All right, hey everyone, welcome. Tellor Community Call, April 11th. Happy Easter. Hopefully you guys had a good Easter or whatever holiday you celebrate. Yeah, fun stuff. So let's get right into it. Brenda, we have to finish deploying to Sepolia today. We're going to look into deploying to the ZK EVM today. So apparently Polygon people are trying to use Polygon ZK EVM. So we should go over there. It's should be relatively straightforward, but I say that about all things that really are not. So we'll jump over there, and it'll probably take all day. But yeah, I'll let you guys talk about what you guys are up to. Dan, how's things going?
Pretty good. I've got the query data turned into plain text, but it also has special characters. Right now, it looks you can tell what it decoded, but it's not doesn't look nice. So
I
just
actually
got to clean that up.
I actually think that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
If you can just see what the query is, even if it has like parentheses and quotes and stuff, that's fine.
Okay. He can fix it too. Okay. So he can he can probably fix it.
Is it that, or does it have like a bunch of squares and like weird characters?
We've got a capital A with a tilde, an at symbol.
I think you're like decoding it. It needs to be like decoded in the correct way, like UTF-8 or yeah.
Nice.
I'm assuming it looks like the Telliot output when you decode stuff in Telliot. That's what I think probably.
Dan, knock it out. Feel free to message me if you want to hop on, if you get stuck at all.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
Cool. Tim, on to you.
Yeah, so I've got a review, got to review a PR from Owen for Polkadot. And then I'm going to work on fixing the little issue with mimicry. Just right now, Telliot is submitting in a strange fashion for just the mimicry values. So I'm going to get that working correctly for them.
What was the diva issue or non-issue? I don't know.
Yeah, it was an issue, and it was like a good learning issue for us to pay attention to just the encoding for our query data. So he's using the EVM call query type, and one of the arguments for that is the call data. So that's the argument that gets passed over to the other chain. So he had it in there as like a literal bytes 4. So just 0x ABCD, whatever. And so Solidity treats that as a bytes 4 when you literally put that value in, and it should be bytes. So then AVI encodes that incorrectly, treating it as bytes 4 instead of treating it as bytes. So like one other, if you just wrap that 0x ABCD blah 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 in a bytes and then parentheses, then that would also fix the issue. So yeah, that was the problem. It was just Solidity was treating this thing as a bytes 4 instead of bytes. So we have to make sure.
Don't know if you want to add a little explainer note in the data spec. Might be worthy of a mention.
Yeah.
So we're
okay.
So, but cool.
That's a good call. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean I've used it a few times and it seemed to work fine, but maybe I was doing that. I don't know. Anyway. All right. Owen.
Yeah, so I left some feedback for you, Tally, on your PR for updating the EVM call in Telliot. And then as well as some PRs from Frank and Pawan from Parity. And that was involved with like updating the execute vote function and like consolidating stuff in like a report execute vote. It seems weird, like they're like updating state, even though like the transfer might not go through for beginning disputes. Anyway, so he's gonna get back to me on that. But we're meeting with them on Friday to just go over everyone's stuff. And then I need to do a review for one of our current PRs as well. So that's, oh, and we have a call to do the Docker tests of the contracts
When's that?
today at
One.
Yeah.
One.
Okay.
Am I booted?
yeah, 1.
You sent it to me. I forgot to look. Sorry. Ryan.
I'm looking into the data feed right now, trying to get it back going up. And then also working on Mimicry's mashup data type. I'm trying to get it to pull the third argument correctly. Right now it's not, but
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, and then I added you to that Filecoin one.
Yep.
So we can talk about that, but
the
Look,
Telegram group.
yeah, we'll probably be participating in a Filecoin hackathon here. I mean, I think it's an online one, but we'll be helping out and trying to teach people. We actually had somebody request just today. They messaged me. They're pulling on testnet some stuff on Filecoin. So it's
Did we
exciting.
have to make any like changes to our stuff based on that their virtual machine is slightly different?
We haven't. Tim, I don't know if you want to take a deeper look.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
it seems like I think it looks like we handle those issues
Yeah.
laid out in that write-up. The main thing was that they treat addresses differently in some cases, but it seems that we handle that based on our and Frank's design. We kind of compartmentalize things happening over
well, this
on
would
the
be just
consumer
normal.
parachain.
No, this is FVM, so this isn't Polkadot. This is Filecoin.
Not even dealing with that. Oh yeah. Okay, that's
So like
right.
do the normal
Um,
complex contracts still work with that? And I think they should. There were like a list of definitely don't do this. And like
Yeah,
we don't do those ones, but you know, like there's Filecoin, basically there's like it seems like they had like their own native address structure. And then to build
Yeah.
like VM on top, they just like built a whole new address structure. And they don't like what a lot of times using message.sender and I think it's like transaction.origin really messes things up. So if you're interacting with like the non-EVM addresses, they can like fake things. So we just have to be careful.
yeah. And a lot of it, yeah, it had to do with like transferring Ether or whatever the native currency is,
Right.
which we don't do, or there was
But-
like handling gas, which we don't really explicitly do anything with gas in our contracts. But
Yeah. So take a look, be cautious, especially when talking to people and doing the hackathon. But if you're using Filecoin out there, know that there are some bugs as far as things that are different than normal EVMs. But yeah, and then Alex Wade sent that over to me. If you guys saw who sent it, but he was like a longtime friend in the space, and he's working with Filecoin apparently now. So
He used to do our audits.
yeah, way back in the day. So it's good. All right, buddy.
Want to be doing the stuff I always do. I'm gonna today set up another AWS instance to split up the testnet reporters because we had so many running on the same T2 instance yesterday that it went down. So one too many windows crashed the whole thing. So now I'm gonna split them up and have a more safer system set up.
Yes. So for the mainnet, a mainnet and testnet, you might have to end up doing, or maybe you can just run some mainnet and some testnet in one AWS instance that's on a different region, and then some mainnet and some testnet on a different region. Because it's less likely that both regions will be down at the same time. Because
Yeah.
the servers are usually kept in different areas, so.
It would be in different regions for sure.
Alec?
I put out a DVM release that is, in it is, for one, is restoring the old style conference threshold flag. Today I'm working on, thank you, Owen, for the review on the EVM call source modification I made. So I'm working on that and also working on, building an EVM call source or feed actually with a threshold from YAML for the auto disputer.
Nice. Cool. All right, Brenda, anything?
We'll be deploying stuff today, so.
When's your next encode?
Well, yeah, I had one yesterday. I might have one in 45 minutes, so.
Professor Brenda teaching more classes. So
You got detailed questions?
They're not super deep questions yesterday, like somebody wanted to like actually go through like how to implement us, which was great. A lot of the questions are just like the usuals that we get, like what's the difference between us and Chainlink?
Oh, I
And-
meant, do we have like deep,
Oh, I'm sorry for Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have any deep questions?
you have a lot.
Lots of
Yes.
There for not there was the one about Pulse Chain.
What about it?
Well, there was one about Pulse Chain, and then there was a list of questions from someone, so.
Yeah, Rocket Luke came in and he, Rocket Luke is a guy, apparently, used to be I don't know if he was a miner, but he was hanging out back in the Tellor proof of work days, and he kind of checked out the situation and he gave us some good questions.
So yeah, let's go through them.
It says, Tellor has only 7 different entities on Ethereum mainnet reporting data with 16,794 TRB staked. 0.67% of the token staked. Is that a problem, basically, is the question, and what could we do to resolve it if it is a problem?
Okay. So I can answer that one. So basically, the way that Tellor reporting works is you stake it, and then you report, and then you're locked for a certain period of time. You would stake if reporting will get you profit, basically, if it's profitable to report, and if it gives you a good enough interest rate, I guess you could say, which is basically anything over a few percent for staking and reporting. Right now, mainnet supports that level of people depositing and sort of submitting in order to do it.
It's kind of like that's how much
Yeah.
security the network is paying for.
That's how much, well, but this is the thing. So like, if you go and just, the cool thing about Tellor is there's no delay on staking. So like, if all of those addresses got slashed, like you just went and disputed them all, even though they're good values, it's not like now there's no more security on Tellor.
Yeah.
Like the tips and the rewards are still coming in. So basically everybody you dispute they would just stake more. So like the real question would be is like, how, you know, like it wouldn't actually matter how much is actually staked. It might have to do with like, you might be able to calculate out, well, like if you did dispute them all, well, then it might take them five minutes, or you can even say like a little bit of time to go and grab more TRB to stake. And then there would be like a time where you could censor Tellor at, but no, it's generally not concerning just because there's a general threshold of people there. And if any of those guys got disputed, it would be massively profitable to come in and stake more and keep reporting. So I'm guessing there would be people willing to step up if or they would probably just go restake themselves
Mhm.
if you disputed them. So yeah, it's
Those
generally,
addresses, if you look at the addresses that are staked,
Yeah.
they hold TRB that is not staked also. So if there was any kind of like griefing and they would already have the TRB in their wallets to stake more.
yeah, so it's generally not too much of a concern. I think some of the bigger concerns that I would have on the side networks would be like on more on Polygon or something like that, to where there is a little bit more of a delay just in the fact that you have to bridge tokens over. Like if you did start doing that, then you have a little bit more of a delay in terms of bridge. So there might be some censoring as far as how long it would take to bridge over, but that's, you know, so if you are a project over there, make sure you have some tokens over there, can step in if needed. Yeah, I think that's
Next one.
And the 7 that they mentioned, that it's 7 addresses, I think that's just like, it's very competitive. So it's just, you know, how it works. Yes.
yeah, I mean, this is the same, like if you look at like ETH staking or Bitcoin mining, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, like how many Bitcoin mining pools are there that are profitable? There's probably only 2 or 3.
7 would be a stretch.
Yeah.
So,
Next one is if the 2% inflation is distributed among 7 entities, then he says it's pretty high yield, but I guess 70 to 80% of it is eaten up by the gas fee. It's about 85% of it. So 85 to 90% of the reward is going to the gas fee on mainnet right now.
good to know.
Yeah, so he's asking, why don't we have more reporters solely because of the monetary incentives? Can any reporters say what's the current APR for staking reporters right now? I don't know what APR is.
Annual
I
percentage rate,
don't
that's
have
it.
that number, but I do know that on each Tellor report, the reporters are making between 10 and 20% on the gas fee.
And you need a little bit, so like it's not risk-free, like instantly you get it and instantly it's liquid return that you can put into cash. Like like if you get it, like obviously your stake's locked up and you have a lot of TRB price risk. So like there's usually, I mean, Brenda probably knows better, like, you know, 1 to 2% you're going to pay on slippage, trying to convert large amounts of TRB. And then if you want to hold it for a week and get some better rates, then like you have a bunch of price risk in. So 10-15% sounds roughly fair to me.
It's also speculative. So
Exactly,
if the reporters are long on TRB, they'll probably submit when there's less profit. And if they're short on TRB, they would submit with more profit. So that, you know, it's really, really hard to say. It's not staking where you get a percentage that you know you're going to get. It's just not. Next one is there no security risk from a low number of stakes, low number of reporters? We talked about that a little bit. Anyone can contest the data provided. That's correct. If the data is wrong, they get their stake. That's correct. Low stake would be dangerous, but here, I guess it's not. I guess it isn't really the same thing. Yeah, it's not really the same thing because it's really, really open. If the current stakes get slashed, new stakers can come on instantly. There's nothing stopping people from doing it.
Usually the bigger risk too would be like if 90% of our token was held on one centralized exchange, that would be dangerous, you know, something like that. Like if you had very, very large amounts and inability to get more TRB to stake, that could be dangerous. But
what I was getting at when we were talking about the first question though too is like, as more users start to tip in the future, there's going to be more TRB staked. You
to
know,
get more rewards.
as there's more demand on the system, more TRB will be staked.
Yep.
It's kind of always been that way. Now there actually is tipping. How are the following metrics? Market cap of TRB, number of stakes, reporters related to the security attacks of Tellor. If there's a team looking for a decentralized Oracle, they might be scared of the low numbers of the metrics mentioned at the moment. Thanks for answering. Yeah, We've definitely heard the whole Teller has a low market cap, so it's not secure thing a lot.
I mean, it's relatively fair, like, you know, you're never like, we're never gonna be able, like, not never going, but you know, like at our current market cap, like if you said like, Nick, I'm gonna give you $1 billion if you can go break Teller, like I'm gonna break Teller. Like I can probably find a way to break Teller. Given your integration, but you know, like you can secure it to a very, very high amount, much higher than our market cap. And we've built it that way. And there's just ways to, Teller's kind of a time-based security protocol. So like, are you crazy secure and you're unable to censor Teller for 5 minutes? Like that's false. Like that would not hold true. But like, are we secure over 12 hours? Yeah, like, can you get it? Like, what are you trying to secure against? Are you trying to secure against someone censoring us, someone getting a bad piece of data on, you know, somebody bridging something wrong? There's different metrics, and just depending on what you're actually trying to prevent against, Teller's more secure in others, and happy to kind of play it out given your integration. So,
However, somebody might try to grieve Teller, it's a profit opportunity for the honest reporter who's trying to secure the network. So if someone is disputing, then it's a profit opportunity for stakers because they're going to rake in those dispute fees if someone's disputing the network. If someone's reporting bad values, it's a profit opportunity to dispute those bad values because you're going to get those stakes.
oh,
Last one is, what's going on with Pulse Chain? I hear we're positioned to be one of their biggest oracles.
but we are not positioned to be one of their biggest oracles. They are forking us and launching over there. That said, it's flattering. Forks are always great. They're testing a lot of our software, going over our stuff. So we're more than happy they're doing it. And you know, like anytime you are launching a new token and playing around with some of the Teller parameters, it's a cool experiment. So we're excited for them, and hopefully they do well. Yeah. So and we answer their questions, and they've had a lot of good questions on a lot of our software. So it's good. So we'll keep at it.
That's it.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Talk to you guys next week.